everyone, I'm Ruxandra, and I'm super excited to be talking to an extreme metal band today who is based in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Sandy, could you please introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Sandy. I'm living in Dubai. I'm a metal vocalist for a band called Gates of Gomorrah, and I also have a side project called Amen Graves, and I do Twitch streaming as well.
You have an awesome voice, and
Thank
it's
you.
even more awesome the fact that you live in an area where metal is not that popular, but it's
Yeah,
cool.
exactly.
How did you guys come together in Dubai?
So the band Gates of Gomorrah itself has been around before I joined the band. So they started around 2012 with our guitarist Jojo. So he's the only original member of the band. And started forming the band 2012, and he always envisioned like forming like a melodic death metal band with like a touch of black metal here in the UAE. So he completed the lineup around 2014, I would say. And then the band had a 2-year hiatus, like between 2016 and 2018. Then they came back together, and Jojo, the guitarist, he started selecting new members. So him and the drummer stayed together. And then throughout those years, there have been some lineup changes. And we all met because, the metal scene is super small here. And most of us were already in another metal project or another metal band, or we're around in the scene. We've seen each other perform. So everybody knows each other. So it was kind of easy for him to like network and pick people. But for me specifically, I joined because I was friends with the vocalist before me was a brother of my friend. So that's how I got connected with Jojo, and yeah, he selected me. I think that's how I came into the picture.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How has your experience living and performing in Dubai shaped your identity as a metal band, especially since it's a region where
Mhm.
not that many people listen to this kind of music?
Y- Yeah, exactly. So I don't know, there's like advantages and challenges of being in a band in the UAE. So Dubai is a growing scene, and the main challenges is that like we're kind of limited in terms of like venues, promoters, because we don't have that many like people that listen to metal. We're a small scene, but it's a strong scene, but when it comes to bands, it's kind of hard to find venues that will accept, metal bands to play, and promoters that will organize this kind of thing. So when there are a few bands, you kind of need to balance like how many times you're going to perform. Like you don't want to perform too much in the same city because then people kind of get bored and the hype is gone. But at the same time, you want to be active. So that's kind of the challenge, the main challenge of being in a band here. But the advantage of that, since we have such a strong community, we have such good support from all of our friends, and that really helps us, be confident during the performances. And we get this really good energy from the crowd because it's a familiar crowd, and you can count on the same people coming to the gigs. And another advantage, especially for our band, I don't like to use this term, but we are the only female fronted band that does extreme metal vocals. Yeah, usually I don't like to use this term, but
It is a
that's what it
fact.
is. It's the fact that it is what it is over here. And it is an advantage because it makes us really stand out as a band. And it's an honor for me to be part of this and to be the only like metal extreme vocalist here. But at the same time, it's like I kind of feel the pressure because I have to set the bar and try to inspire other people. And all eyes are on me
On
in this
you.
point. In other countries, it's like there's many like
Yeah.
female like screamers and stuff, but here I'm like the only one doing that stuff. So yeah, I'm trying to inspire people to get into it because it was super hard for me to like start off doing that. But yeah, those are some of the challenges and advantages of being a band over here.
How do you feel that the metal community in UAE has developed with time, and how have they responded to your music?
Over time, like, You know, it's weird. The scene, I've been here since when did I move to Dubai? So actually I moved to Dubai 2005. And there was a metal scene here. There were like little shows going on. It was a lot harder to organize them, but there were lots of like underground shows going on. And at one point, we even had a metal festival called Desert Rock.
Desert,
It
yeah,
was huge. You heard about
yeah,
it? There were a lot
yeah.
of international bands who came in. I was still a
I think
teenager, but
even
I
I
still
think even
attended the
Arch
show.
Enemy play there, if I'm not wrong.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
they did. Arch, we had a lot of big bands. In Flames, we had Prodigy play, we had Iron Maiden, and then I don't know why it stopped, but I think maybe it's due to financial reasons. But that was the only time I saw the metal scene here like really big and booming. And then for some reason, I don't know, it kind of died down for a while. And there were a lot of challenges with promoters and, with people like competing against each other and just all the logistics. And it's kind of hard to bring certain bands here because, you know, the people have to look through it and see if they're like,
The messages and yeah,
the
yeah.
messages,
Be culturally
the
appropriate.
religious,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I lived there
But
for
then,
13 years, so
oh yeah, okay.
yeah, I
Oh my
know.
God, I forgot about that. So
Yeah.
okay, so you know,
Yeah.
so you
Yeah.
remember all that stuff. And then I don't know, then slowly this year I would say the bands are coming back. Like after COVID, it's starting to slowly come back because now we have more promoters. Me being one of them, I work for a company called Sandstorm Music Company. We just started this year, so we started bringing international bands.
Okay.
And I'm just seeing a lot of new faces here. So it has developed, and we're trying to make it grow even more. But it wasn't like how it was before, but we're trying to get back to that stage.
How about Abu Dhabi?
Abu Dhabi, there's no like Abu Dhabi
No.
does the huge shows like Metallica. Who else came? Like Scorpions, like
I
those
think
big, huge
Megadeth. I
names.
think there was Megadeth.
Megadeth,
Yeah, yeah,
huge bands.
yeah.
They handle that. But I haven't heard
But like
of
once every
promoters from
5 years.
there. Yeah, exactly. Actually, Metallica is coming in December for Formula One.
Oh
And Guns
wow.
N' Roses is playing all in Abu Dhabi. Yeah.
Oh wow.
But in terms of like the small, like underground scene, like heavier, more extreme music, I don't see much in Abu Dhabi. People in Abu Dhabi usually travel to Dubai for these kind of shows.
Now, your vocals are a real standout feature, and
Thank
you
you.
sing in two bands.
Yeah.
How does your approach when it comes to vocal performance change depending on the band or the project you're working with?
So my other project that I have called Eamon Graves, it's with a guy in Germany. So that was actually the first project I did. I did that before Gates of Gomorrah. So during that stage, my vocal range was a little different. And also the genre is okay, both bands is considered melodic death, but Gates of Gomorrah is a bit heavier and we have a touch of black metal. Eamon Graves is like pure, I don't want to say commercial melodic death, but it's like more like Arch Enemy style, more melodies, more upbeat, I would say. So, of course, my vocals, I would approach it a different way. But in the beginning, I didn't have the full range that I have now. So it was more like, I would like to say like false chords in the beginning. And then as we recorded more music, you can hear that I've changed like my sound a little bit, like more highs, more lows, more fries, and all that, instead of just being one tone. Now, for Gates of Gomorrah, since I mentioned it's like more extreme and with more like black and death metal influence, and also so with Gates of Gomorrah, I was able to perform live with them. With my other band, I haven't. So Amon Grace was in a studio setting, and Gates of Gomorrah was more of a live setting. So in those two different environments, your vocals are used differently,
Mhm.
like especially in terms of like breathing techniques and stuff, especially live. You need that stamina, and that's a thing I had to work with when I started performing live with Eamon Graves. I was in the studio. I was able to like take as many takes as I want, and it was easier for me in the beginning. So being in Gates of Gomorrah really challenged me in that way and really helped me be better at my vocals. So yeah, that's usually that's is with the different settings and the different genres between them. That's how like my vocals differentiate a little bit. Yeah.
And you have multiple guitarists in Gates of Gomorrah.
Yeah.
Um, how is the songwriting process, given, you know, that you have such a rich instrumental lineup?
So we have two guitars currently. We're very fortunate to have two of them. They're very talented. So one of them I mentioned was Jojo. He's the founding member, the original member. And we have another guy named Lloyd. He appeared after me. So before him, we had another guitarist, but he had to move countries. So we got this guy, Lloyd, and he's really, really good at what he does. He can play not only extreme metal, but he can play power metal. So that requires a lot of technicality and stuff. And he applies it to the music. And he actually gave us like a nice new sound to the music. Like if you hear the older stuff from Gates of Gomorrah, it's just more raw and extreme, but he brings like so many different types of sound. And those two work really well together. When they write music with the instrumentals, they kind of like take turns when they write music. One of them will write a song, another will write a song. Sometimes they write together. And Lloyd now, since we're recording new music, he's the one that's like taking care of like the recording and the mixing.
And since you guys come from different cultural backgrounds as well, how does that affect your music?
For us, yeah, we are very diverse. We have two Filipino members. No, three, sorry. One, our bassist is from Turkey, and I'm mixed. I'm American, Malaysian, and Lebanese. So we're a very diverse group, very diverse. But originally, Gates of Gomorrah started off as an all Filipino band. Like all the members were like from the Philippines. But with this current lineup, yeah, we're me and my bassist are the only ones that are not from that region. But musically, it's we're all on the same page. And when it comes to the sound, it doesn't the culture doesn't affect our sound. However, one of the new songs that we are currently working on, the title is in Tagalog, which is the Filipino language. So there's the hint of Filipino influence. We have maybe, who knows, like maybe my bassist will add like some Turkish like elements into the song, but aesthetically, our culture doesn't have influence. Like our style is just a typical like metalhead style. I'm the only one that's very aesthetically focused. I really care about like how I look and being dramatic on stage with the makeup and everything. And the rest of the guys, they don't really think about that stuff. But in terms of culture, we don't wear like the national dress or whatever for that. But yeah, the only thing is like the songs. But hopefully with the future songs, we'll add more of our culture into the new songs.
Now, what themes or messages are most important to you guys as a band?
So for the band itself, if you can see the name Gates of Gomorrah, you can kind of it's kind of a hint of what our lyrical content is. So Gomorrah in the Bible was like an ancient city that was destroyed because of wickedness. So a lot of our lyrics, especially the old one, is based off of like hell, negativity that happens in the world, specifically like sins and being punished for your sins. For example, our first song, this song was made even before I joined the band. It's called Abomination of Mankind. It's usually the first song we play in our when we play live. It talks about humankind being punished for their sins and being sent to hell. We have another song called Equitus Inferni, which kind of refers the four horsemen of the apocalypse riding into hell. And even with our merch, okay, this is like, you can't really see it here, but this is the art for our merch, and it was an idea for a previous album cover. You can see this is like the gates of hell, and then if you look really closely, you can see the four horsemen going into the gates. So yeah, and even when we perform live, we have the logo, and then like fire in the background. So we have, I guess, the main theme is like hell. But with our new songs, we're like incorporating other stuff, but we're still talking about sins and bad things that happen in this world. So those are the main themes.
Okay, and what was the inspiration behind your most recent material?
The most recent material. So, like I said, we're currently in the process of creating and recording new tracks. I would say for the new songs, you can expect like a more diverse style. So maybe the cultural aspect, but besides that, You'll hear different ways the guitar is being played and also my vocals. I'm starting to experiment more things with my vocals. And you can also hear the difference in our latest track that we wrote together. It's called Purity's Demise. We're already playing that song live. So that's one of the new songs we wrote together with our current lineup. So with that song, whoever has heard it before has more bass solos, which we didn't have in the old songs, more melodic guitars with our new guitars, and even with like a hint of like djent sound, which is never in our songs. Like, yeah, that's the best way to explain it. It's like a modernized version of what Gates of Gomorrah sounds like, but still keeping like the raw and brutal sound that we usually have.
And are there any local or international collaborations that you're pursuing currently?
The local, well, so we're definitely performing again locally in the near future, but nothing is confirmed yet. But we're focusing on recording our new EP and releasing a music video first.
Mhm.
But with all that, once we get that done, I think the next step is for us to start playing internationally. That's our main goal. We started looking into like Turkey, since our bassist is from Turkey,
Okay.
started talking to promoters there. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can play shows out of the UAE. But there's a lot of gigs coming up too. Usually summer is a little bit quiet in the UAE because it's hot as hell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know how hot it is over
I
here.
know, yeah, I don't miss that at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, I don't, it's already hot. It's already like 40 degrees and it's only like May. Like it's crazy. It's super hot here. But once winter comes, there'll be a lot more shows and nothing announced yet, but we'll probably be playing local shows here around that time. But now it's time to focus on recording and getting a music video out.
Can't wait to see it
Yeah, I'm
and
excited.
promote it
I'm
over here
excited.
as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. We want to promote that everywhere so we can just take it to the next step and so other international promoters can see what we're about.
Yeah. Sandy, thank you so much for your time
Thank you for having me.
and can't wait to listen to your new release.
Yeah, it'll be coming soon. I'll keep you guys posted.
Take care. See you.